And good morning, Yamhill County. You are tuned right here to 1260 AM KLYC. This is To the Root of It. And I am Kyle Hunter. We've got Ray Van Blaricum right here next to me. And we are on location at the McMinnville High School for the Yamhill County Master Gardeners Spring Into Gardening Seminar.
This is a wonderful program that's going on. This is the second in the series. The first one was last year, and it was basic. It discussed soils and fertilizers and composting and the basic beginnings of how to garden. And this year, it's more how to take care of what you are hopefully growing.
I know, and we've been talking about the Spring Into Seminar for the past few months, and it's finally here, and everybody has actually moved into the auditorium right now. They're getting their assignments on which breakout sessions they're going to go to.
Yep.
And so right now everybody's deciding between blueberries and growing tomatoes.
That's very true. Bernadine is here. She's with the Oregon State University and is the expert on blueberries and also strawberries and raspberries. She'll have a second session later on.
She's a berry lady.
She's a berry lady. Oh yes, absolutely. And really fun to listen to. She's just a hoot. So if you're not here, I'm sorry.
Right. It's true. And if you did want to walk in, this is going on until 4:30, right?
4 o'clock's the end of the raffle and the closing.
Yeah. So, but we do still have walk-in tickets. Are $40. You get free lunch with that. A free lunch with that.
Have you seen that door prize table?
I'm looking at it right now, and the whole thing is enormous.
That sucker's like 30 feet long.
I know, it's and I remember last year they were the prizes were so many, and it's just really great to see that they're there. I can't believe that I saw them setting up last night, and they had just so many different things, just
and
flowers.
We have a groupie.
We've got a groupie. She's taking her shirt off. It's incredible. They're getting wild here down in McMinnville.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fantastic. Anyway, we've got a lot to talk about this morning. We've got some answers to some people's questions that came in over the week,
and some more questions to people's questions.
And yeah.
So yeah, we'll be talking about that later on. I did notice that when I came in this morning here, I arrived at 8:15, and it was not raining. But when you arrived shortly after 8. You were soaked it had sprinkled on you.
And that happened in about the last 100 feet from the parking lot. A very narrow cloud. I'm starting to feel like Joe Bispivsdick out of Little Abner with a little cloud over my head.
Little Abner reference, awesome.
Yeah, it happened the other day when I was walking the dog. We got over like 6 blocks from the house. It was like walking underneath a garden hose for block and a half, and then when we got to the end of the block, the cloud had gone the other way, but we got to walk through it twice.
Yeah, yesterday was beautiful, bright and sunny, grass dried up, and I was hoping that I'd be able to mow it at some point, but that doesn't look like that's going to happen until Tuesday or Wednesday. However, I'm looking at the week's temperatures, and we're looking at the 60s here.
Off and on, it's going to be just downright pleasant.
Well,
in between thunder showers and rain.
Well, here's my thinking on the way the temperature is right now, because we've got all this moisture, and then we've got this 60 degrees, and all I can think of in my head is mold and black spots and all of the bad things that love it when it rains and when it gets warm.
Oh, this is great for moss. If you're a moss lover, you're in hog heaven now.
Right, exactly.
If you're a moss hater, and there are those out there that think it disturbs the feng shui of the grass.
When it's on your sidewalk, you don't want it.
Well, that's true.
So that's what I'm dealing with right now. In right behind my my back door, I've got this nice little cement area that is just sludged because it's right at the bottom of the hill and there's no drainage for it, and it just gets caught right there, and all I'm dealing with is wet moss.
Drainage was another thing we're going to discuss later too.
We're going to hope we can discuss that, but you've got a weather report too.
Pam. Yes. Oh, and we have Rufus from the Weather Cafe, who is again prognosticating some really bizarre stuff to hit Apparently, March is going to go out screaming and kicking.
Nice. In
It's-
like a lion, out
Yeah,
like a
in
lamb?
like a lamb, out like a lion. Yeah, well, no, this is going out like a 2-year-old hissy fit.
That would be the lion, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go with lion on that one. He's prognosticating that the first 2 weeks of spring are going to be another weather event for not only the Northwest, but clear across to the New England states. One last slap up alongside the head.
Oh, we've actually got a walk-in question. Okay, how is your question? Can I plant my potatoes now is the question that we're getting asked right now, and the answer is
It's wet.
it's really wet for them right now. The soil it's like mud, isn't it?
Well, it also, potatoes really like to have soil temperatures above 45 degrees, 50 degrees. So don't plant your potatoes right now unless you have a raised bed or a covered hoop bed. Yes, but the soil temperature, yeah, it was 60 air temperature, but not necessarily soil temperature. And as we preach here on To the Root of It, it's really what goes on with the root structures of the plants. And once the soil temperature gets up over 45 degrees, and the roots begin to function, absorb nutrient, and will start producing the plants that we need.
Right, but it's coming up here.
Oh, very shortly. I would think that probably you could, if you have a hoop house, you can put them in there right now, but you don't. Okay.
If you have a raised bed in the ground.
If you just put them in the ground, the best time is probably Labor Day or Memorial Day weekend. Anytime Memorial Day weekend or the very first week thereafter.
Or when it stopped raining for a while.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing. Just exactly.
Well, it's not going to stop raining
really
until after the Rose Parade. Come
if
on.
it hasn't rained for a week or something like that, because the soil, I mean, you don't want to bury it in the mud and it'll just rot.
Now, do I have to do anything special to make this go box of potatoes, and then just pick one of those?
Technically, you can just go and buy a sack of seed potato. A very wise, successful gardener once told me a secret, though, and that is after I cut up my seed potatoes, to put a half a cup or a cup of sulfur dust in a bag
To prevent the mold.
and shake the seed potatoes in the bag of sulfur dust, and you can prevent the wire worms, the funguses, nematodes, potato scab, just
Nice.
by using sulfur dust on the seed.
Yeah.
It creates a little
And then the
area
important thing
around.
also is you want to use the potato seeds. You don't want to necessarily go out and buy a 10-pound bag of potatoes.
No, don't. Yeah.
Because they can have the disease that's in there, and that's how disease is propagated. And the seed
Right.
potatoes are actually taken care of better.
Yeah. So.
It doesn't have to have an eye,
true,
does it?
True.
Does it?
Yeah. Every piece of potato has to have at least one eye.
Oh, yes, yes.
if
When you're
you-
cutting up, because you're talking about cutting up the potato seed into quarters or
Right.
something like that. So
Yeah,
each
that's-
piece has to have an eye on it.
Yeah, so each seed potato gives you like 4 to 6 plants if you cut it right.
Ah,
And then you take and shake the whole thing, just like you were shaking curly fries or something, and then put them in the area. And don't plant them really deep, because you kind of want the potatoes to be near the surface. They'll grow off the side roots as well as.
isn't that a pain though when you plant the potatoes and then the soil starts to disperse away from them? You've got the potatoes sticking up halfway out and they get
Might I
hard.
remind you of the magic word mulch?
Are you saying to mulch my potatoes?
I am. As the potatoes grow, you can start piling mulch, and you can use mulch, compost, straw. Although you got to be careful about
Not
that.
manure.
No. You just want to, because the potatoes will actually grow off. The stems of the plant will start making more roots, which make more potatoes. Have you ever seen somebody that grows them in tires?
No.
Okay.
But I've seen the tires out there.
Yes, and as you start out with one tire, and then you put another tire on top of that, and the plant keeps growing, and that's the secret to getting a bumper crop of potatoes.
Tires.
It's one of them.
Just keep stacking.
Just
one
keep
time,
stacking the
pile high.
tires until you get up to a couple of months worth of tires stacked up, and fill it with dirt each time,
Mm-hmm.
and do it so that you go up about 4 to 6 inches per layer. You don't want to just dump 2 feet of dirt on your plant.
Right.
That's not going to work well.
Right.
That's going to get really ugly. And then when it comes time to harvest, you just pull the tires off, and the potatoes fall out of the dirt.
That is so
It's-
strange.
It's
That is
if you got
strange.
the room to do it, and your neighbors don't get excited about a stack of tires out by the sidewalk, but
So that's potatoes.
yeah, and that way you can actually start them earlier because you have them above the ground. They're in the tires are black, they absorb heat, they heat the soil, and that's kind of the secret of why people do that tire thing.
One of the things is here in Yamhill County that we have to be aware of is that we get these nice days, and as gardeners we get really excited. We're like, yeah, let's go do spring.
yeah.
But you have to understand that that doesn't necessarily mean the rains are going to stop because it's been sunny one day. So you can't necessarily just go out there and let's go plant those tomatoes, let's go plant those cucumbers.
No.
Because it's been sunny and it's time, right? No. So everything you just still have to practice a little patience.
Speaking of tomatoes,
Oh.
I have the list of what's going to be at the plant sale.
The
We have-
Yamhill County Master
Yeah.
Gardener plant sale that happens on the end of
last
April.
Saturday of April.
I think that's the 29th, but
And-
don't hold me to that. It's the last Saturday in April, however.
It's 20, maybe 26th, 28th.
Well,
we'll-
let's stop guessing about it.
Yeah, we'll
Let's
stop
just
guessing
Talk about
and-
what's in the greenhouse right now that we have actually ready to
this
go
is what
for.
this is what they've got seeded already. In the tomato variety, there's Beefsteak, Celebrity, Early Girl, Glacier, Green Zebra, Quality T23. That's your really super duper.
Somebody put a thought into making that
Yep,
name.
it's your utility tomato for sauces and
Ah.
then they do have the saucy, which is like aroma.
which is 4 sauces.
Right. And it has a really nice thick skin, very low seeds, very low acid, great saucer. There's also, of course, the red cherry and the sweet million and the sun gold for your mini tomatoes.
Everyone loves the sun gold, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because those you can just keep picking all summer long just to eat
Yeah.
those off as you're in the garden.
Yeah. You get, probably a bowl full ripe every day for, who knows,
Yep.
a couple of months.
So you mentioned that there's thick skin on the sauces. Is that so that you can blanch them and get the skin off because you don't want the skin, or do you want the thick skin?
Well, some people like the skin because it's of course filled with lots of vitamins as well. But the meat underneath the skin on the saucy tomato can be like a quarter of an inch thick.
Oh,
That's what makes them such a great
thick.
tomato.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, you can still slice them and put them on sandwiches because they are really juicy, but it's not like a beefsteak where you bite into it and the juice runs down the corner
All
of your
over the
mouth
place.
and gets all over your T-shirt. And
So I know that the beefsteak, I think just because of its name and the inexperience of some of the gardeners that come to the plant sale, that seems to be the most popular one because they also get big.
They get
compared to
huge.
Most of the other ones. that we
They're
have.
bigger than softballs.
Yeah.
But the problem with the beefsteak is it takes 120 days to grow. It's not an early determinant. It's not like, the early girl, that takes like 60 days. So if you plant it the 1st of June, you should be eating tomatoes by the 1st of August.
So maybe that's also why the beefsteaks are so popular because we've planted them, we've seeded them. You're going to get a 2-month head start this way.
Right.
And you have to have that. You can't start in June, plant in the ground, and
No.
expect something to happen because it's probably not going to happen before the first frost.
Not really, but that's an excellent tomato for growing in the garage for a while.
Ah.
They do really well under lights as well, as long as they stay warm. They do like to have a heat pad to get started, just to keep the roots warm. That's what they do in the greenhouse. They have all these guys on
They're a very sensitive plant. They've got the thin skin, kind of, right? I mean,
True.
they're very susceptible to frost to low temperatures.
Yeah, they rot out at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
But they are so delicious and juicy, and that's what makes them a prime candidate for on your burgers, because they're big enough to actually one slice covers a burger, kind of hangs out the side of a good sized bun.
Yeah.
And then if you cut it nice and, oh shoot, I'm starting to
I know, it
salivate.
sounds like you are. I'm watching you go into a comatose just thinking about this thing.
Yeah, I'm starting to drool.
But it's really great. And then real quick, we should probably talk about the determinate and indeterminate, right? Because that's really important. That's the biggest thing when you're thinking of tomatoes next to big or small. You want to know whether they're going to continue to grow up or around and all of that. So you want to jump into that real quick?
Well, determinate, if you see on the tag it says determinate, or you're looking for a tomato that you want to, say you want 6 tomatoes because you want to can tomatoes, you want to get determinates so they're all pretty much ripe at the same time. That's what it means. An indeterminate tomato means that it will keep producing ripe fruit for months.
Until it dies.
Until
winter
it
comes.
gets frosted.
Yeah.
Determinates, they will pretty much all come ripe within a week or so. It's like they will all be green and then they'll all turn red, we hope. Mm-hmm. And then they're ready to process. Maybe not all of them, but a major portion of the tomatoes on a particular determinate plant will be ripe at approximately the same time. And that's what makes it convenient for canning and things like that. We're gonna jump into a break real quick. We're sorry we do not have telephone conversation today, but we do have a couple of emails that we want to get to after the break. So this is KLYC Radio, 1260 on your radio dial, and this is Ray and Kyle with To the Root of It from the Garden Show. We'll talk to you later.
AM 1260 KLYC, and we do want to thank Recology Northwest Greenlands for being a sponsor of To the Root of It. And we are right now at Recology talking to Nick Olheiser, the supervisor lead here in McMinnville. Nick, thank you for sponsoring the program.
Thank you very much.
So you and I were talking just before we started making this interview, was that the weather's been kind of crazy, but we're going to be heading into spring. What's going on now at Recology?
A lot of new things happening. Spring coming up. Hopefully the weather permits us to have a good Earth Day coming up here in mid-April. We will be having discounts, prizes, site tours, different kind of raffles, and everything for you and your family to come out and hopefully enjoy the weather, enjoy the staff, and get some product for your garden and your yard.
So what are you selling right now here in this time of year?
We're still selling pretty much all of our in-yard products. It'll range from anywhere from a rock to all the barks. We have soil mixes, the compost. We're still doing the concrete mixing station services. We still have the blower truck services and delivery services pretty much anywhere in the local community, even some of the out communities as well.
What are your prices?
They're going to range from anywhere from about $15 for the half yards all the way up to the $30, $35 range for a full yard.
Now, one of the nice things about having Recology here in McMinnville, it's very convenient to come down and get a truckload. Or how small quantities do you sell?
As far as in-yard pickup truckload, we go all the way down to a half yard, and then we go up to however much you want to take at once, and you can come back and make several trips and get as much as you need, or if you're wanting to save a little bit of time, we can go ahead and deliver that right to your doorstep.
And how do they contact you?
Be either through the phone, which is 503-434-1671, or as well, we also have our new website all set up, which is compostoregon.com. It has all of our pricing and on hours as well as our address.
And your hours here at Recology Northwest Greenlands in McMinnville?
It's going to be 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday is 9 to 4.
Talking to Nick Olheiser, the supervisor lead for Recology Northwest Greenlands, sponsor here of To the Root of It on AM 1260 KLYC.
Since 1983, Hillside Retirement Community has graced McMinnville's west side. Hillside is currently undergoing over $4 million in renovation across our campus, and we are excited. During the month of March, we're holding a Manor construction sale. Manor apartments start as low as $1,450 per month. Call today to schedule your tour and experience the magic of Hillside. That's 503-472-9534, and thanks for listening.
Does your auto need a makeover? The Yam Van received a makeover like none I would ever believe was possible at Extreme Auto Spa here in McMinnville. Well, to just name a few things Extreme Auto Spa did to Yamhill County's favorite Yam Van, the old orange paint now shines and sparkles like new. The windows were tinted and also received new gaskets. When your vehicle is at Extreme Auto Spa, it can receive more than the interior cleaned and shampooed, the exterior washed and waxed. Adam's crew at Extreme Auto Spa provides services for window tinting for your auto, home, and business, spray and bed liners, 3M paint protection film, Northwest sealant protection, water leak detection and repair, as well as foul, odor, and rodent removal. PU and yuck. Extreme Auto Spa is ready to help you spiff and shine your vehicle. Extreme Auto Spa is located at 2940 Northeast Lafayette in McMinnville, and the telephone number is 503-883-0995. Will you do me a favor? Tell them KLYC sent you.
Research shows that exercising with a friend increases your success. Until March 31st, Mac Women's Fitness Center is offering a friend special. The special includes half off the initiation fee and a special monthly rate when you and your friends sign up together. Call 503-472-2541 or stop by Mac Women's Fitness Center located on the corner of 10th and Adams for more information. Come begin your journey to health at Mac Women's Fitness Center with your BFF.
Alrighty, this is Ray and Kyle with To the Root of It on 1260, your local AM radio station. We're down here at the Master Gardener Spring into Gardening Seminar, and just watching the crowd. It's really
Well, the crowd is dispersed because they're all learning stuff right now, right?
Yeah, they all went in to listen to Bernadine, and
or Al. Because we've got the tomatoes going on also as well right now.
That's a side clinic on tomatoes.
Yep. I think that they did make a mistake by putting us right in front of the dessert table, which is two folded tables right next to each other, and all they have is dessert. It's filled with cookies and cakes and nice crispy treats.
After years of being a master gardener, I've learned that being near the treat table is not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's not. And then I guess they've also put some fruit over there too. So that's a good idea.
Somebody's condescension to healthy living. I think that's the side I'm supposed to graze on, not the side down here with the...
Right, I'll eat 2 of those grapes and then 4 of those cookies.
I ate a grape.
Well, you're probably full now, aren't you?
No, because there's still frosted fudge cakey things over there that must be sampled. We were talking about the tomatoes in the greenhouse.
Absolutely.
And I forgot the fun ones. We just gave the basic tomatoes, the beefsteak, celebrity, early girl, glacier, green zebras, and on down the list.
Yeah,
but
you've got 2 names over there that are my favorite tomato names.
Which one?
Which is the Brandywine. That just sounds like a beautiful tomato.
Oh, and then it is.
And then the pineapple.
In the heirloom varieties this year, they're going to have 6 varieties. They have the black crim, which is literally a purple tomato.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Brandywine, which, as you mentioned, is luscious. The German stripe, which is a really strange-looking tomato. When it's ripe, it's red-ish, with green stripes.
I'm picturing it being very stern and practical.
Oh, it's a yummy. My sister grew them last year, and she just loved them. She was hoping that they'd have those. And then there's the Manitoba and the Mortgage Lifter, which is another high producer.
Did you say mortgage?
Mortgage Lifter. Well, it's because it was a money-making tomato.
Makes it.
Yeah. And then, of course, the pineapples, which are just
Do they
sweet.
taste like pineapple? Do they taste like pineapple, or do they...
Well, they're sweet, like a... they have a fairly high sugar content.
Oh, okay.
And they look like yellowish on the inside, I think.
Okay.
I think that's where they actually get the pineapple.
You're right.
But there's 3 kinds of summer squash. There's 3 kinds of parsley. There's 4 kinds of lettuce. There's 3 kinds of winter squash. There's a couple of species of eggplants. There's 4 varieties of cucumbers, 5 varieties of peppers, 5 varieties of kale. In case you're,
And kale you can plant right now.
yeah, kale's good for right now. You can put the parsley, the cilantro, the lettuces you could put into the soil right now.
And we had another question from someone that's just walking by. Is it too late to prune my roses?
Oh, Lord, no.
No.
But now you have options. Because
you can see where they are.
well, you can see what's really going to bud,
Right.
And you have a much better take on what got frost damage in December.
Yes.
I just went over and tuned up my neighbor lady's roses last week.
How were the spots?
Well, she's got it under control really, really well. She's done the lime sulfur thing. There's no black spot. There's no rust. There's no mold.
Well,
There's
the
no
powdery mildew is going to happen. I guarantee it's going to happen within the next 2 weeks.
Not on her roses.
Not on hers. All right.
No, she's got it under control, and she's even gone and bought the tube of rose food, bug killer, systemic stuff.
I have that. I sprayed some yesterday.
Yep. And she uses the granular and just puts like a quarter of a cup.
This is squirty stuff, and it's almost slimy as it comes
Yeah.
out. But you just spray it, and
Doesn't
it
help
gets
to
in.
shake the bottle.
No.
You're pumping off the bottom of the jug.
Not the reason, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely prune those roses right now,
Yeah. Go ahead.
because otherwise, like, if you're like me, mine were probably about 3 or 4 feet tall, and they didn't need to be that tall.
Well, there's more brush to carry away. And it's time to go ahead and cut off any rose hips. They've done their thing. They should be turning black or dark brown by now, which means that they've been sucked dry by the rose roots.
And that's also, for me, I've noticed that that's where the powdery mildew likes to hold itself, is on top of that rose hip.
Yep, because it's starting to biodegrade. It's done its thing. Can I plant a lawn in the spring or fall only? Yes.
You can plant a lawn in the spring?
Yes. Spring is actually a really good time to overseed bare spots. And of course, if you're the moss phobes and you've gone out and you've put the iron dust down and you've killed the moss and you've got it all raked out, well, the ground was soft and workable. You can go ahead and overseed with whatever type of grass seed you want. I recommend any kind of blended seed, because then you're starting out with what you're going to get anyway.
Right.
And just sprinkle a little bit of peat moss.
So while it's good to you can do it still in the spring, it's still recommended to do it in the fall. But
Right.
if you're like most like me, you may have not done it in time, and then you realize, wait a second, now it's time, right?
Yeah, I'm just so glad I don't have a lawn to worry about. I used to be a real lawn freak. I had to have the darkest, greenest, squarest edges. Oh, it was terrible. I probably needed a 12-strip program just for lawn. Just to get away from lawns. I was addicted to the perfection of the lawn.
Yeah, and me, I don't. It just happens. That's what's great about living in the state, is it just happens. I mean, when I was in Tucson, that was an effort, and just give up on
yeah.
that. And then apparently I was talking to somebody in Nevada or in Las Vegas. You're not even allowed to have a yard if your house was built after 1990, I think.
No, you got to have rock or water-wise zero-scaping.
Xeriscape.
Yeah, desert. Basically, you move the desert into your front yard.
Yes.
After the house is built, then you put the desert back.
But here, you do not have to worry about that.
No.
The water comes for free part of the year, most of the year.
Yep.
And so it's really great. So yeah, plant a lawn if you want to plant a lawn. You can definitely fill those patches right now. That's for sure.
And the top part of the soil will start to warm up on a 60-degree day. It'll get warmed down, probably half an inch, which is enough to sprout the grass seed. And that's really all you're looking for.
Right.
It's the main body of your lawn is not going to really start growing serious until later in April and May. when the soil starts to warm up and the rest of the grass gets enthusiastic about it.
I can tell you, though, I am dealing with probably about 6 to 8 inches of green grass coming up off of the ground right now. So I'm really looking forward to Tuesday because I'm going to mow my yard.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and those gardeners who mowed their lawn once a month or so during the wintertime caught a sunny day and just went out and squared it off.
Smart people.
Very, very smart people. You keep it down to about 2.5 inches tall, and God provides the water.
Yep.
Or whoever's up there running the water hose.
Nature.
Nature provides the water. Yes, indeed.
More questions, though. We had questions from last week that were emailed to us, and what's really great is we do have email addresses available if you have questions that you need to get to us. He is Ray at totherootofit.com. I am Kyle at totherootofit.com. Any questions you have, go ahead and feel free to give us an email. We'll try and get back to you with the answers for that.
We had one last week from a guy by the name of Mike.
That's right.
And he was asking about quince, fruiting quince. And it's not a really super duper popular thing because it's primarily used for canning and jellies and chutneys.
Well, when you guys were talking about it last week, it was as though it was an arcane kind of thing that was used by the settlers and the pioneers, but then kind of went away when we started getting oranges shipped to us, not having to deal with the vitamins, because you were saying that it was really good for vitamin C, and so during the winter month, and it kept well. So during the winter months, this would be a really good thing to have around.
Yeah, it was brought out by pioneers as a basic staple type food. Everybody had one type thing. Mm-hmm. But we did find a place here in the Portland metro area which does sell the fruiting quince, and there are dozens of varieties, and they are all climatized to the Tri-County area, northern Willamette Valley area. And what kind of surprised me is you can get a pretty well established tree for under $30.
Wow.
Like $24.95, I think was it.
And I have to admit, I've never seen one of these things right now, and I'm looking at it online right now, and it looks like a one of those yellow apples.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, not on the inside, though.
Depending
it's got
on the variety.
Big, thicker seeds, but it's like a combination of that yellow apple and a green pear, or a yellow pear.
Yeah. Kind of like an Asian, anywhere from the roundness of an Asian pear to a almost Bartlett shaped, or there are varieties that look quite like a golden delicious apple, and they all have different flavors. So you kind of got to do your research. But the good news is at One Green World in Portland, it's over on 134th Street. And you can Google One Green World and get their store hours and things of that nature, but they do carry them as a regular product.
Nice.
And they're, I think One Green World, actually, the nurseries, I think, down in southern Clackamas County. So that's pretty close to our area. But
Well,
yes.
I'm looking at the nutritional facts of it, too. Really high in vitamin C. I mean, it's high in vitamin C. Looks like it's pretty high in potassium.
Vitamin A as well as the other one is.
Well,
Yeah, vitamin A.
And it's got some good
C.
calcium and magnesium and but it looks like potassium and vitamin C are and
it'll
fiber.
definitely take care of your rickets.
Right, exactly. So, and that's what it was for. And I think that's probably why it started losing favors, because we had other ways of getting all of that stuff.
Yeah, when the major corporations started producing oranges in Florida and shipping them up, oranges and grapefruit and all the varieties from California, it kind of became less necessary because it was a kind of a citrus substitute. But still
I'm going to grab one of these because I'm really interested in it. It looks pretty nice. And it looks like something I could have in my garden.
It would be a good addition, and you only need one. You don't have to have two to fertilize like some things. You got to have two species so that they cross-pollinate each other.
Right.
It's not an issue. They'll take pollination from just about anybody.
Yep, and that is important. But we're going to jump into a break real quick here. We are live here at the McMinnville High School for the Yamhill County Master Gardener Spring Into Gardening Seminar. It's running until 4 o'clock. If you have any questions, we are not available for calls today, but you can give us an email. I'm Kyle at totherootofit.com. We will be right back. This is 1260 AM. KLYC.
AM 1260 KLYC, To the Root of It, and sponsor for To the Root of It here is Recology Northwest Greenlands, having a facility here in McMinnville. We're talking to Nick Olheiser, the supervisor lead. Now, Recology Northwest Greenlands has undergone a bit of a change in their corporate structure and their name and so on and so forth, but they're still here in McMinnville, still here to provide quality mulch and garden products.
Yeah, absolutely. About 3 years ago, we were purchased by a San Francisco-based company called Recology. Basically, it's just been a rebranding for us in a sense. We've changed a few of our processes that we do here on site. Other than that, everything's the same. We still offer the same services, the same great staff, and the same competitive prices as well.
So if you need something in mulch for your garden, your operation, come down here to Recology. One of the things we're very excited about is April 19th. You're going to have a big event here, and we're going to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be our celebration for Earth Day. We do it every year. I think this is our 6th or 7th annual one. We're going to be having discounts. We'll have site tours. We're going to have raffles and drawings. We're giving away free deliveries. Everything and anything you could want. Come on out and come visit us and come see what we have going on.
And To the Root of It on April 19th, we'll be coming to you live from Recology, which is just up the road from the radio station. But one of the things we want to do with To the Root of It, as much as possible, take it on location. Obviously, we want to wait till the weather's warm. But April 19th, we'll definitely be here at Recology Northwest Greenlands doing a show, and Ray and Kyle will be here talking about the products they have here and how you can use it in your applications.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be out here, like I said. We'll go through. We're going to have a few demonstrations, exhibits, and kind of show you benefits to composting and what it does for your soil, and other benefits that you can have around your yard with it as well.
Now, when people talk about Recology Northwest Greenlands, what do you want them to think of as what you provide or the company?
I want them to realize that we are the new face of composting in a sense. This is kind of where the industry is shifting towards the more organics side of it. And I want us to be the front runners, and I want us to be more involved in the community, and I want them to know all about us when they hear our name.
And where are you located? What are your hours?
2200 Northeast Orchard Avenue here in McMinnville, and hours are going to be 8 to 4 Monday through Friday and 9 to 4 Saturday.
Talking to Nick Olheiser and Recology Northwest Greenlands, the sponsor of To the Root of It, right here on AM 1260 KLYC. A message from Rosemary Davis, CEO of Willamette Valley Medical Center.
Those folks who don't have insurance, when you come to the hospital, I want you to know that immediately your bill is discounted 60%. And if you can validate an income level at 200% of the poverty level, we will write the whole bill off. If this is a tough time for you and you're needing health care, you can get health care. Don't not do that and make things perhaps worse.
Rosemary Davis, CEO of Willamette Valley Medical Center. The medical center is here to help.
What are you saving for? It's a good question, because big dreams are financed by smart savings, and there's no better time to start saving than when you're young. That is why First Federal waives all service fees and minimum balance requirements for account holders under 18. So skip or run to First Federal, because your big dreams of tomorrow really do start with saving today. Your friends at First Federal are ready to help you invest in your tomorrows. First Federal, we're here for you.
This is Bruce Huffman from Hillside Retirement Community wishing you a happy new year. Is 2014 your year to make a change in a true retirement? Hillside offers an enriched life for seniors with 15 to 17 food entrees per day to choose from. 25 fitness classes each week with a focus on fall prevention and brain wellness, plus travel and educational opportunities galore. We have cottage homes and apartments of various sizes to meet the unique needs of your retirement lifestyle. If you have not toured Hillside, make this your year to visit us. What you will find will surprise you. Call 503-472-9534 to schedule your tour.
righty, we're back to the root of it. This is Ray and Kyle from the Spring into Gardening seminar at the McMinnville High School. I'm not sure what this area is called. It's the Commons.
We are in the Commons. I would say Commons, the cafeteria Commons area.
Yeah, and I see that they're set up for about 140, 150 people.
It looks like
for
it.
Lunch.
This place was pretty crowded when everybody was coming in this
we
morning.
had a good turnout. We had another question from the audience, who is kind of standing around looking at us like, what are these two guys doing?
Right.
But it is, can I plant my flower seeds now? And this is one that if you're getting itchy to start planting stuff, yes, I would plant them indoors under a light on the dryer for right now.
But it does depend on what flowers we're talking about, doesn't
true.
it? I mean,
Yeah, true.
And but yes, this is a really good time because a lot of the flowers, some of the perennials, it's a good time to start them because you can put them in the ground sooner than, let's say, a tomato,
Well,
right?
most flower seed that we normally think of, your nasturtiums and your zinnias
annuals.
and
The
the
annuals.
annuals, you need to wait until after the last frost.
Because you know when that's going to happen.
Right that on the package, plant after last frost.
Right.
You know, so you can broadcast seed them and just scratch them into the surface. That's what I'm going to do. I've got zinnias and poppies, nasturtiums, and there's another package in there. I'll have to look see what it is.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Just put it in the ground.
I'm just going to broadcast scatter them in amongst my perennials.
And broadcast seeding is just where you just throw it around.
Yep, just shake it out of the sack, not all that gently.
Nice.
And then there was another question about bulbs, because everybody, I mean, you go to Bi-Mart or Walgreens or any place, and you see these big piles of bulbs for sale.
Right.
And can you plant bulbs now? Yes, as long as you've prepared your soil so that you have decent drainage, so the bulbs don't just sit there and rot because of excess moisture.
And again, we're talking about what kind of bulbs are you going to be planting right now? Because the spring bulbs, I mean, you just look at the daffodils; those are up.
They needed to be planted last year.
Right.
Things like gladiolas.
Dahlias, lilies, tuberous begonias. These are things that are going to bloom in the summer.
Right.
And you can put those in the ground right now. Things that are going to bloom in the fall, autumn flowering crocus, magic lilies of Japan, things like that. You can plant also now too, because they're not going to be up until after the heat of the summer.
Yeah, they need the heat of the soil to germinate roots and get started. Some of the other ones can go with minimal warmth in the soil and actually be up by June and July, and now's a good time to.
But that's the good thing about the bulbs is you can stagger them out. So you've got the spring flowering, and then those go away, and then you've got the summer bulbs, and then you've got the fall bulbs. But you get the color all year long.
I thought I'd layered a couple of pots pretty good, and I noticed that the daffodils didn't come up at all yet.
Wow.
They're just I think I planted them about an inch too deep.
Or an inch too deep or upside down or what? What happened there?
I don't know.
Because they don't seem to have a problem.
They may not even be in that pot, come to think of it. They may be in the one that's underneath the barbecue out on the deck. I don't know. We'll find them eventually as they come crawling out underneath the cutting tray on the barbecue.
Maybe they're not in there.
Yeah. But the tulips are all up. And that kind of surprised me, because we got this beautiful bouquet of yellow tulips. They were double petaled with furry edges on the petals. They were just gorgeous, dark canary yellow, and they came back.
Oh, nice.
So they're coming up out of the pot. They're up about 6 inches. I'm curious as to what they're going to look like. I hope they're still yellow tulips.
Well, would they change color for some reason?
Well,
they
there
can't change color.
again. being an old guy, I don't always remember what I put in what pot.
So funny.
I never label anything.
It's so, and we talk about that every spring, especially when you go to the plant sales, when you go into the nursery and you put the stuff in the ground. They have these plastic tags, and you get a permanent marker, and you write down what you planted and when you planted it, and you will know exactly what it is.
You could use a popsicle stick that you just cleaned off.
That's so true. Yes, exactly. And but it's for me, it's important to label, and most of my plants are labeled that way because I don't want to have that problem where I'm like, oh well, what is that? What is that? Because especially after being a master gardener for almost 3 years now, I have accumulated quite a garden of things, and I would not know what most of them are if I didn't have the labels on them.
Well, I landscaped out of the leftovers from the plant sale for several years.
It's easy
Every
to do.
time we'd move,
Sure.
I'd just wait until plant sale, and whatever was left over, I'd go over and rescue it and drop a check off at the extension office and take it home. So when we moved into the condo, I really didn't remember what all I'd moved over there. It was bare dirt, and so I started planting stuff. And I got a little heavy on the yellows. I can see that.
Yeah.
So I ripped some of that out. But we did get a message from Pam K, and she was looking on what to do about French drain.
Because we had talked about this on our February 15th show. We discussed standing water removal and how to get rid of this. You got puddles in the yard and you don't want them there. We discussed building a berm, and I found a really nice article on the OSU website that covered it. And I even went ahead and I copied it. I put it into a Word format because that's what I do for the show. And it's nice and noted and everything, but I cannot find it back on the website to save my life.
Well, it's not unusual for them to take things down and put them back up when it's actually time to do it.
Yeah. But I've got the notes right here. However, I cannot find the catalog. But Pam was nice enough to give us an email. I tried looking for it briefly before the show. Not able to do it. I will get back to Pam on that.
Yeah, we have her email, and,
Yes,
and as soon
exactly.
as we locate that information, we will be emailing you, Pam. We are not neglecting you. We will find the answer. It's our goal.
That's right.
It's our purpose
Because
in life.
exactly, that's what we do here.
Yeah.
So what else do we have? We've got people going to be coming out of the breaks here. We have plenty of vendors here next to that are all set up next to the giveaway bags and everything like that. Buttons, equipment rental is here.
Oh, they got a cool thing going
Great
on.
sponsor. Oh, do they?
Yeah, they're about to have a new grand thing.
Oh,
Grandchild
or
some kind.
or baby of some kind.
Grandbaby of some
Yes.
kind. And they're running a contest to guess the delivery date. And you get to come in and meet the mother and guesstimate when she's going to hatch. I'm thinking in about 20 minutes.
No. That is awesome. So you come by and you guess
looks
it.
pretty ripe to me.
Right, you come by and you guess the age. That's incredible, or
Yeah.
the due date, and that's absolutely incredible.
Buttons Tools is just a great place. They got everything you could possibly imagine.
And their
needing.
rates are incredible.
Oh.
I know that I've rented from them, and I rented an earth mover, and the track came off of the wheels, and within 15 minutes, guy shows up, fixes it, goes back. So I've always been really happy with them over there, and it's nice to see that they have a new button on the way.
I've rented backhoes and various other toys, big boy toys.
Yep.
When we put the French drain in over at the greenhouse, we started shoveling and quickly realized there was about 2 feet of crushed rock. And so I went, oh, this is not working all that well.
Oh no!
I was not born to
You
pick
do
a
not
shovel.
have retired individuals
Yeah.
digging 3 foot
No,
by
it
6
wasn't
foot
going well.
trenches.
So I went down and got a nice little hydraulic backhoe and came back and had the whole ditch dug in about 20 minutes.
Right, exactly. That's the
And
way
I
you're
was
supposed
like,
to do it.
come on, Ray.
Yep. Save
Get
time,
smart.
save work.
And
Yep.
the beauty of the things that I have rented from there, like Thatchers and aerators, they keep their stuff running so precisely that it starts on the no later than the second pull.
Yep. So Botton's one of the vendors that's down here. We've got other tool vendors, but we're going to take our last break right now because it is time. It's 9:51 here in McMinnville. Probably everywhere else on Pacific Standard Time.
Yep.
So we'll be right back. This is To the Root of It on KLYC 1260 AM.
AM 1260 KLYC. We want to thank Recology Northwest Greenlands for sponsoring To the Root of It. It's because of their financial support makes it possible for us to have this program on the radio. We very, very much appreciate it. Talking to Nick Olheiser, who is the project lead at Recology Northwest Greenlands in McMinnville, there is a shift in the industry towards more organics, more naturals, and not chemicals and pesticides and unnatural fertilizers, but getting back to nature, right?
Exactly. Yes, we're trying to get away from the man-made fertilizers that are so often used nowadays. Trying to shift more into the organics and trying to educate individuals on the long-term benefits as well as the short-term benefits of organics. It's not good for just a year; it's good for 10 years. It's helping to restructure the soil, and it's not just providing instant nutrients. It's good in every way.
And it's also a lot safer to handle.
Absolutely, yes. It does not have, like you mentioned, the chemicals, the pesticides in it. So yes, it's completely organic. Everything out here is OMRI listed, and it's good to go and put directly in your soil.
So come out here with your pickup truck. What kind of containers should people come out? Pickup truck, dump truck, what?
We can do pickup truck, dump trucks, trailers, whatever you have. You can also we do 5-gallon bucket sales if you just need something small for just a little in-house garden or backyard garden that you may have. We can do 30-gallon containers, whatever you have, we'll make sure we meet your needs.
And phone number, do you have a website or a Facebook page?
Yes, we actually just got a brand new website all up and running with our prices as well as our hours and our address, and that's at www.compostoregon.com.
And again, phone number?
503-434-1671.
And don't forget, April 19th is Earth Day here. We're going to be doing To the Root of It live here at Recology Northwest Greenlands in McMinnville, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Us too. Come on out. Come visit us. We'll have discounts. We'll have raffles, prizes, site tours, exhibits, everything and anything you can think of. We'll be here for you.
What are the hours on Earth Day on the 19th?
It will be 8 to 6 on Saturday.
Well, Nick, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
AM 1260 KLYC, talking to Nick Olheiser, the project lead at Recology Northwest Greenlands in McMinnville, sponsor of To the Root of It on AM 1260 KLYC.
What are you saving for? It's a good question, because big dreams are financed by smart savings, and there's no better time to start saving than when you're young. That is why First Federal waives all service fees and minimum balance requirements for account holders under 18. So skip or run to First Federal, because your big dreams of tomorrow really do start with saving today. Your friends at First Federal are ready to help you invest in your tomorrows. First Federal, we're here for you.
This is Denise Stoutenberg. In my 15 years of experience caring for persons with memory loss, I have realized that the journey of Alzheimer's disease is one of the longest any person will travel. If you or a loved one are traveling this journey, you're not alone. Join us for a support group the first Monday of each month at 2 p.m. at the McMinnville Senior Center, or for the Alzheimer's Cafe, a social event for persons with memory loss and their caregiver, the second Wednesday of the month at 3 p.m. at the Blockhouse Cafe in Dayton. For more information, call 503-484-3145.
And we are back here in McMinnville High School, and we're just wrapping things up on the show here, To the Root of It, and we're going to go jump into some of these seminars for ourselves, right?
Yes, we are. There's a number of them that are certified, and for recertifying master gardeners. And I've only got like 2 more hours, and I'll be...
Because if you've been a master gardener, especially as long as you have, you've got to put in 10 hours of re-education, right? 12 hours of, oh my gosh.
Yeah, 12
hours of re-education, yep. Which is where you go to the classes, learn stuff, relearn stuff, exactly. Master things, just to make sure you haven't forgotten anything. So that's what I'm going to be doing also, is hopefully getting some recertifying credits. But it's just to make sure your tools are sharpened.
Well,
Your brain tools.
no, I did that. I got out the old Dremel and tidied things up. And yes, it does make a difference apparently. If you
Yes.
sharpen your rose cutter.
Yes, especially if you've used your pruners to cut metal piping or something. I have this big dent because I just had that thin wire, very, very small gauge that I thought that I would be able to cut simply, but it was just thick enough that it wasn't breaking, but I was determined. So now I've got this dent in my $50 pruners that I've got to work out somehow.
That really is sad.
Yeah.
You want to borrow my Dremel?
Right. No, I've got the Dremel. Remember, you're going to come over and teach me how to do it
Okay,
because I've
yes,
had the Dremel. I don't know how to use it towards that.
We need to do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, folks, it's been an interesting morning. It's going to be an interesting week weather-wise. It's going to be plenty of time to do your garage gardening.
And to reiterate that rose point, because this is a pretty big rose state. This is pretty big. Everybody loves their roses and takes care of their roses. And we mentioned earlier in the show that you've got to you can prune them right now, which is fine because you can see where they're budding out. It's a time to spray them. You can also hit them with a spray real quick.
With a dormant spray.
Because that's going to prevent that. Honestly, that's my biggest fear right now is seeing that white stuff all over the leaves, powdery mildew. I do not want to see that.
No, the lime sulfur spray works really well because it's working on powdery mildew. So anything that gets powdery mildew can benefit from the lime sulfur spray. That includes your dogwoods, lilacs, roses. Got yeah, the BB stopped rolling. What do I
The apples,
Yeah.
the pears.
But, yeah, you're besides where it's supposed to go, which is your apples and pears and peaches. It's sad when that happens.
Oh, it's not sad. You named 12 things. You couldn't name 13. That's okay.
I couldn't get to 13th one.
Oh.
But anyway.
Gosh, I'm going to grab one of these cookies before anybody sees me grab one of these cookies. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
stop
time to get a pocketful and except you're not supposed to eat in the auditorium.
You cannot eat in the auditorium. I snuck stuff in last year, and I think I got the stink eye from a few people. Like,
Well, they were just jealous because
I was bold enough to break the rules.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you all, folks, for listening to us this morning. It's been a great.
And there are still tickets still available if you want to drop by. We have plenty of more sessions available. If you have nothing to do today, come on and stop by. Tickets are $40. Free lunch lunch included with that.
Yeah, it's not a free lunch
Right.
because it's included in your $40. But
That's right.
It's a one heck of a spread.
Yeah.
It's going to be done by the catering classes for the high school, and so they've got to be on their best behavior.
Well, and that's really an important thing. Hopefully, we're also going to be going down to the Daffodil Festival. That's what I'm hoping for also, because
yes,
what we have to mention is we are taking the show on the road as many times as we can.
Yeah.
So if you're out there listening and you have an event in Yamhill County that is garden related, maybe you want to drop us an email, see if we can fit into your schedule.
Get hold of Dave.
Get hold of Dave Adams at the station, and see if we work with that, because we really enjoy going out there and meeting the people and getting their questions, and as long as it's a garden related event, we're happy to be there.
Well, as Master Gardeners, we're a volunteer organization, which is an outreach arm of the Oregon State Extension on Lafayette Avenue. And so, folks, make sure you keep your tools sharp.
That's right. He's Ray. I'm Kyle. Any questions? Kyle at totherootofit.com. He's Ray at totherootofit.com. We will see you next week because it's 10 o'clock and we were late for class.
Yes, we are.
It's 12:60 a.m. KLYC.
We play your favorites. KLYC, McMinnville, Forest Grove.